nominee while leaving the door open for his possible exit.
The Senate confirmation hearing for Dr. Ronnie Jackson has been postponed amid allegations of inappropriate behavior and workplace misconduct.
He's a great doctor.
The president defended Jackson during a White House news conference.
But I will tell you, he's one of the finest people that I have met.
Jackson is an admiral who has been the chief White House physician for many years. Trump criticized the confirmation process.
I told Admiral Jackson, I said, what do you need this for? This is a vicious group of people that malign.
He said he has not heard any specific allegations. On Capitol Hill, I'm Terry Moore, NBC News Radio.
The accused Tennessee Waffle House shooter will remain behind bars. A Tennessee judge revoked the $2 million bond for Travis Reinking today without any explanation for his decision. Police say Reinking shot and killed 4 people at a Waffle House early Sunday. The suspect in yesterday's deadly van attack in Toronto left a social media post before the attack.
The accused is alleged to have posted a cryptic message on Facebook minutes before he began driving the rented van, and he drove it southbound on Yonge Street and onto the crowded.
Short for involuntary celibate, and matches with a Reddit group that advocated sexual assault against women. Gibbs remarked that now that suspect Alec Manasan has been charged, he can't comment on the evidence or motive in the case. A major sell-off sent stocks plunging on Wall Street today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 600 points at one point on disappointing earnings, with 3M leading the way. At the closing bell, the Dow slipped 425 points to close at 24,024. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Hi, this is Jonathan Friedman. You might know me as the host of Talking Sports on WCTC, but I do have a day job. I'm the Business Development Director at SCG Advertising and Public Relations in Parsippany, and I'd like to tell you about how SCG can help advertisers reach their potential customers in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world. There are so many options, from all the traditional media to the practically limitless digital and social platforms that are available, making it harder than ever for businesses to get their message in front of the right audience. Well, at SCG, we help our clients strengthen their relationships, reputations, and brands by integrating their message across the entire media spectrum. We understand the options available to advertisers, and we will work with you to determine the best creative and media plan for your business. To learn more about SCG Advertising and Public Relations by visiting scgadv.com. That's scgadv.com. We'll help you reach your potential customers, all of them.
Here are some general contest rules for 1450 WCTC and WCTCAM.com. No purchase necessary. 1 winner per household every 30 days. Valid ID required to claim prizes. Prizes may be substituted for one of equal or greater value. Parent company employees or relatives of employees, advertisers, sponsors, or other radio stations are ineligible. Contestants must be at least 18 years of age or older and a legal U.S. resident living or working in our terrestrial listening area. Our decisions are final, and we reserve the right to alter or cancel a contest at any time. Odds of winning depend on the number of entries received. Not responsible for lost, late, damaged, or misdirected entries. Winners are responsible for any taxes, penalties, and gratuities. We and our sponsors reserve the right to use photos, voice recordings, and images and likenesses of winners and contestants for advertising and promotional purposes. Copies of complete contest rules and a list of winners are available during regular business hours at our studios, 78 Veronica Avenue, Somerset, New Jersey. All federal, state, and local laws and regulations apply.
When you meet somebody with autism spectrum disorder, you've met somebody with autism. No two people are the same. I'm going to college.
She's really great with animals.
20 years ago, autism affected 1 in every 150 kids. Today, it's 1 in every 68. For boys, 1 in 42. Families with autism face a lifetime of challenges, from getting the early educational services and assistance they need, to making the transition to life after school, and finding jobs, activities, safe housing, and care. 1 in every 68 children. You're going to meet somebody with autism. Help them reach their potential.
My son has a job.
Learn the signs to allow early intervention. Offer a job or volunteer opportunity to promote independence. Support sensory-friendly activities that every family can enjoy. And ask your legislator to make the right decisions in funding family services. Be an advocate for autism. This station is part of the Beasley Best Community of Caring. For more information and ways you can help, visit our website.
Checking WCTC traffic at 6 o'clock hour, sponsored by Compassion International. A mess on 22 westbound. Left and center lanes closed. Emergency construction until at least 8 p.m. You've got these 2 lanes blocked between Morris Avenue and Dynasty Parkway. An hour back up bumper from the New Jersey Turnpike. 78 definitely works out a lot better as an alternate. Delays on 18 southbound and from River Road to Old Bridge Turnpike. Route 1 southbound delays Cuttersville Road into Mercer County. For just $5 a day, you can sponsor a child with Compassion. Become a sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. 60 degrees, WCTC traffic block.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. Rain moves in here tonight. We'll have that rain getting a little bit steadier through the course of the evening into the overnight, especially will be a soaker. And as far as low temperature, we're down to about 50 degrees. Then tomorrow, Wednesday, cloudy with that rain in the morning. It ends towards midday. We're dry time in the afternoon. Just a lingering shower or two. So we go back to the low mid 60s. And Thursday is an improvement. Mix of sun and clouds back to the mid and upper 60s. Meteorologist Chris Castellano, 1450 WCTC.
The opinions expressed during this program are solely the opinions of the hosts, guests, and callers. They do not necessarily represent the views of the advertisers, management, staff, or ownership of WCTC.
This is WCTC's Sound Advice, the local 1-hour program designed to give you the knowledge, information, and guidance to help you make better decisions in your personal and professional lives. Now, WCTC's Sound Advice.
Time now for Talking Sports. Here's your host, Jonathan Friedman.
Good evening, Central Jersey. It's Tuesday, and we're talking sports right here on the voice of Central Jersey. Talk Radio 1450 WCTC. I'm John Friedman. Dave Race is on the other side of the glass. That's the voice you hear when you call the show. Dave, how you doing?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Lots to talk about in the next hour. You bring it, we'll talk about it. Give us a call on the Ocean County College call-in line. That's 732-545-9282. That's 732-545 WCTC Ocean. .edu. Also, we're streaming the show. Go to WCTCAM.com, click on that red button, and you'll get us on your mobile device, laptop, etc., and enjoy the show on the World Wide Web. Lots to cover in the next hour, including the Devils. As you know, they had a tough weekend down in Tampa Bay. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the NFL draft, which is on Thursday evening. And we'll go through high school lacrosse. We've got the NBA. We've got the NHL. We've got your calls. And lots more to go in the next hour. And speaking of calls, Dave, do we got him yet? Dave, we got him yet or no?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right. Well, going to join us is Daryl Slater. He covers the beat of the New York Jets for NJ.com. And he'll join us. We arranged for him to call to be on the show tonight at 6 o'clock. So when we get him, we'll go right to him. So as you know, the NFL draft is on Thursday, and I have heard more different opinions on who's taking who, especially with the 1 through 6 in the draft. And a lot of things could happen by then. And I think personally that the New York Giants have they're going to determine what happens in the draft. Are they going to keep this pick? Are they going to take a running back? Are they going to take a quarterback? Are they going to trade the pick? And then that will have an effect on the Jets also and how they draft. So should be really interesting. Give us a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545 WCTC. Also, I'm holding another 4-pack of Somerset Patriot baseball. Give us a call, and we'll take that on the 4th caller of the night. And we will then give those tickets away. Somerset Patriot Baseball right here on WCTC. Matter of fact, I believe next week the show will come to you at 5:30 as we'll take you right into their game, I believe, next Tuesday. So we'll do that. So there'll be a time difference. Also, you can get the show also on YouTube if you type in Talking Sports on a Tuesday or Talking Sports with Jonathan Friedman on a Tuesday. You'll get the show right there on YouTube. And also you can get us on Facebook. If you friend Jonathan Friedman, we'll quickly get that accepted and you can watch the show also live streaming. So we're waiting for Daryl Slater to give us a call
from NJ.com, so we can take a look. I got some questions for him in regards to the draft. Also, we'll talk about later in the show how the Devils, you know what they need for next season and seasons to come. When you're in the playoffs, whether it's hockey, basketball, baseball, in a long 7-game series, you're going to see that your weaknesses always get exposed in a playoff series. That's where your weaknesses get exposed. And you saw that the Devils need another wing on the other side of Taylor. You saw that they need a tough guy. You got to remember, back in the years when the Devils were doing their thing and winning championships, they had the Claude Lemieux of the tough guys that like to bang and like to fight and do all those things. The Devils are missing that right now. And there's too big of a gap between Taylor Hall's numbers and the next best goal scorer on the team. So listen, this is part of the process that you go through when you're developing a team. And, the first round here, next year, maybe it's another additional round or a conference final. Little steps along the way, and the Devils will get there, but you totally see what weaknesses are in a playoff series, especially at the pro level, and when it's a 7 or a 5-game series. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the Mets and Harvey and what's going on with him. Can he adjust to the bullpen? Should the Mets just release him and move on? Lots to go over with that. That's very interesting. And who would have thought that the Philadelphia Phillies would be right in there in the National League East? For that matter, who thought the Atlanta Braves would be right where they are? And then later in the show, we'll talk about the NBA and the playoffs. And I want to just throw something out to you. I think that Russell Westbrook is probably the most selfish ball player in the NBA. I'm going to tell you why. And yes, you're going to say, Jonathan, he's got so many triple doubles, yada, yada, yada. I got it. But is he a leader? Can he take a team and lead them? Can he make Paul George better? Can he make Carmelo better? Can he make Steven Adams better? I'm not seeing that. And what happened the other day in regards to his thing with Rubio in the not last night's game that Utah won and went up 3-1 in that series. What happened was the night before, the 2 days before, Rubio abused him. Okay, he could do anything he wanted. So Russell Westbrook in a press conference after that said, that will be shut down. In the post-game conference, he said, that will be shut down. Okay, so the next game comes. All he does is focus on Rubio. In other words, he's guarding him full court. I mean, he's getting him the minute he gets the ball to put pressure on him, bringing the ball up. But what you forget is when you do that stuff and you make it an agenda, me against him, you forget about team defense. You forget about rotations. You forget a lot about other things. And you know what happened? Boom, 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 boom. He had 4 fouls and got into foul trouble because he let his head get ahead of his game. And what it did is it affected Oklahoma in other parts that you may not even see. So he made it about him. And then, again, he doesn't make the players, I think, on his team better than they are. And, yeah, he's got the big, sexy numbers, but it doesn't translate into wins. And that's what it's all about. I'd rather have an average point guard who doesn't put up the numbers he does, but makes everybody better and focuses on assist and those type of things. And I don't see that at a Russell Westbrook. Kind of funny. You may now see why Kevin Durant left the Thunder. That's what it looks like to me. So we'll talk about that. I'll keep you updated on New Jersey High School. I want to take a look at the lacrosse standings. It may have changed from last week. What else we got on top? We got the NHL playoffs, and they are a doozy. We got a game 7 tonight, tomorrow night in Boston, Toronto and Boston. That's a 2-7. That's going to be interesting. We'll talk about that. We're going to go through a lot of things. We'll talk about the Giants. We'll talk about the Jets. We'll take your calls at 732-545-WCTC, ocean.edu. Also, I've got that family pack of 4. Family pack of 4 Somerset Patriot Baseball, which they begin on the 27th. So, again, next week, a programming note, I believe will come to you at 5:30. I'm going to check it before we leave tonight. But we'll check and see what the deal is there. So we got a lot going on, and still no Daryl Slater, from NJ.com. He's still not with us. All right. He'll probably get to us there. So anyway, so the NBA playoffs are great. And how about the Philadelphia 76ers? You talk about a year, by the way, where you have a chance, even as a young team like them, to get to the conference finals or possibly represent the Eastern Conference. they could do it. The Toronto Raptors, they could do it. And what I'm surprised about, though, with the Raptors is that they didn't get one game on the road in Washington. And I was equally surprised with the Boston Celtics that they didn't get one game on the road. So both of those series are tied up at 2-2, Boston and Milwaukee. And you got Washington and Toronto tied up at 2-2, heading to game fives. And as you've heard it before, pivotal game five. That's what happens. Could always determine a series. And if that road team wins a game five, oh boy. So you could see some higher seeds get knocked out in the NBA. In the NHL, you've got Boston, you've got Toronto in a game seven in Boston. And I got to tell you, the pressure's on Boston. They're the home team. They're the higher seed. And, Toronto just may get a game seven. And if Toronto gets a game seven, you can immediately look and say that's part of what Lou Lamoriello can do for a team. And that's just part of their building process. So lots to go over with you in the next hour. Again, try to get this family 4-pack of Somerset Patriot baseball. We're going to take the fourth caller to take those. From what I understand, they're fabulous seats. So get on over here, and hopefully when we get back from the break, Daryl Slater of NJ.com will we called him. He didn't pick up his phone, so hopefully we'll get him soon. We'll talk about the NFL draft and a lot of anticipation. That's the one draft I think that gets the most attention of all the pro sports is the NFL draft. People can sit there for 3 days and sit and watch it. Usually I like to see my team, what they do in the first round, and I'll come back and see what they did in the second or third round. But I can't sit. A lot of people sit there and they watch the whole thing. They don't leave their seat, and I just can't do that. That's just crazy. But and you're going to see what you think or what you think that these writers or columnists across the country say that who's going to take who. I got to tell you, interesting. Do the Giants trade that number 2 pick? They have a quarterback that they're going to rely on for the next 2 years. Do they take the running who could be ready to play right now? Or do they trade the pick and get another 2 first-round picks or an additional second-round pick? A lot of things could happen. A quick break. We'll take a look at the weather. We'll take a look at the roads. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday with me, John Friedman. Give me a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-WCTC Ocean.edu. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jonathan Friedman. You might know me as the host of Talking Sports on WCTC, but I do have a day job. I'm the Business Development Director at SCG Advertising and Public Relations in Parsippany, and I'd like to tell you about how SCG can help advertisers reach their potential customers in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world. There are so many options, from all the traditional media to the practically limitless digital and social platforms that are available, making it harder than ever for businesses to get their message in front of the right audience. Well, at SCG, we help our clients strengthen their relationships, reputations, and brands by integrating their message across the entire media spectrum. We understand the options available to advertisers, and we will work with you to determine the best creative and media plan for your business. So learn more about SCG Advertising and Public Relations by visiting scgadv.com. That's scgadv.com. We'll help you reach your potential customers, all of them.
Attention landlords. Are you tired of spending a fortune replacing carpets and repainting walls because of the damage done to your facility by tenants who smoke? Does the extra time and money it takes to clean an apartment after a smoker moves out hurt your turnover time? Did you know that allowing smoking in your units can increase your turnover costs by thousands of dollars all across New Jersey, from Bergen County to Salem County, and from the banks of the Delaware River to the Jersey Shore? More landlords are realizing that they can save money by making their properties smoke-free. Survey after survey shows that most people want to live in a smoke-free environment. So take the next step to lowering your costs, reducing turnover time, and making your tenants healthier and happier by implementing a no-smoking policy today. To download a free toolkit with information on how to make your building smoke-free, go to njpn.org. That's njpn.org. Sponsored by Tobacco Free for Healthy New Jersey and funded by the New Jersey Department of Health, the New Jersey Broadcasters Association, and this station. Go to tobaccofreenj.com for more information.
Checking WCTC traffic, and this report sponsored by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society, and the Ad Council. Westbound 22 left and center lanes are closed with emergency road work until 8 tonight at least. Out in the area of Morris Avenue to the Garden State Parkway, and it's bumper to bumper back to the Turnpike, an hour delay at least. You're also backed up moving on 287 southbound exit 8 to 3 and on to 440 still stop and go. Shelter pets are amazing pets, and the only way to find out how truly amazing they are is to meet one. So visit the shelterpetproject.org and adopt. 60 degrees, WCTC traffic watch.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. Well, for tonight, we do have rain on the way. For now, for the time being, we do stay dry early, but we'll start to bring in that rain past the evening rush, which is the good news, but it will be a soaker into the overnight. Down to 50 degrees, and then tomorrow, Wednesday, we start off with that rain in the morning, ending towards midday. Scattered showers do linger in the afternoon, though, in the low to mid-60s. Then Thursday improves quite nicely with a mix of sun and clouds, and in the mid to upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Chris Castellano on 1450 WCTC.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Tuesday. Give me a call on the Ocean County College call-in line. That's 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC Ocean.edu. All right, let's take a quick look at the NHL playoffs. We'll go through the bracket real quick, and then after that, we'll take a look at the NBA bracket. All right, so you know that Tampa Bay is moving on. They beat the Devils 4-1 and have a nice rest, by the way, because as you know, Boston and Toronto, Tampa Bay is going to play the winner of Boston and Toronto. So they've had rest since Saturday night, and they'll rest again all the way through. I guess that series won't start probably until they're the 1 seed. So Boston, if they were to win tonight, so that series probably would not start until Thursday. So a lot of rest for Tampa. That could be, that sometimes that hurts you when you have a rest like that. So they're going to wait the winner of Boston-Toronto. That should be a doozy. A Game 7, and the Maple Leafs just may pull it off. All right, Washington got by Columbus. They were down 2-0 in that series, and now the Capitals took the series, and they'll now move on, and they are going to play the Pittsburgh Penguins. Those two seem to always meet, whether it's in the semis of the conference finals or in the conference finals in the East. And two quality teams, lots of stars on both teams, and should be a doozy there. So those series will get underway soon. And in the West, Nashville, who's the 1 seed, they got by Colorado. Colorado won on Sunday to make it a 3-2 series going back to Nashville. But Nashville last night took care of business and got by Colorado. Real good series that was. And the Winnipeg Jets, they're moving on. They beat the Minnesota Wild. So Nashville and the former Atlanta Thrashers, the Winnipeg Jets, they'll meet in Nashville. I guess that would be tomorrow night or the night after. In the other bracket there, you got Vegas, who took out the broom and swept the LA Kings. They're going to take on the San Jose Sharks, who did take out the broom also and beat Anaheim. So lots of good series in this round before we get to the conference finals in hockey. And now in hockey, you thought that this first round was intense. It just picks up another 3 notches in this round in hockey. So you'll see a lot of low-scoring games. You'll see a lot of banging, a lot of physicality, and a lot of defense. So that's what you'll see. And if you want to get to a conference final in either league, you're going to have to earn it, and you're going to have to earn it big time. This is where the big boys start to play. So should be a great NHL postseason as it continues to be. And the Devils, as I talked about, if you're a Devils fan, don't be discouraged because they're going to be around. This was part of the process. I actually think they're ahead of the process. They need to go out and get a few more free agents and take care of some of the weaknesses that were exposed, and they'll do that, and that's just part of it. And so a lot of exciting, looks like good future years for the New Jersey Devils. All right, let's take a look at the NBA, and lots of interesting things going on in the NBA. So Toronto is in a 2-2 tie with the Washington Wizards, and the Wizards are the 8th seed. And one of those things, remember we had spoke about it 2 weeks ago that, in the NBA, especially in the East, if you saw an 8-1 or you saw a 7-2, you wouldn't be surprised. And that's where we're at right now. So you've got Toronto and Washington heading back to Toronto, tied 2-2. And, at 2-2 with a game 5, you don't know what's going to happen. So that's where they are in that series. I believe they may play tonight. I'm going to take a look at that. And then you got the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Indiana. I call them the no-name Indiana Pacers. They've been great. I would have liked to seen Indiana get one or get the second one at home. That series is tied going back to Cleveland. So, LeBron's having to work hard. This Cleveland team is not like the other Cleveland teams. And what I mean by that is the personnel that LeBron's playing with is probably the weakest he's ever played with. And remember, a lot of the players that he's playing with now were acquired at the break, were acquired at the deadline. So, and again, when you make trades with multiple players, you need training camps to get to know each other and how you play. There's not a lot of practice time in the NBA during the season. So, but LeBron's amazing. He can carry a team on his back, but he's having to work hard. I can tell you that. Indiana is not making it easy, and Indiana's in this series. So, and, nothing personal about LeBron, but I'd like to see Indiana win because I always love upsets. I always love the underdog, and I'm just kind of tired of LeBron being in the finals. All right, now here's the other interesting one, and this will end tonight, or it's tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to check that also. Philadelphia, Miami. Now, Philadelphia, they were split in Philadelphia. Miami got the second game. Philadelphia got the first game. Miami got the second game. And then Philadelphia went on the road and got the next two. And what that shows me is that they're going to get it done in the next game and end this series. Philadelphia, this is the first year of success since they've done this rebuild. And because the way the Eastern Conference is now, they got a chance to represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals because they may be meeting somebody that they can beat. Can they beat the Toronto in a series? Probably. Could they beat Cleveland in a series? Probably. Now, will their youth start to show in the next round or in a conference final? Maybe. But I got to tell you, this Ben Simmons is probably the best point guard with everything that he has. His game, he's a 5-tool some odd player. So, Dave, we've got Daryl on.
We do.
How many minutes do we have left here before the break?
3.
3. Well, let's tell Daryl, hold on, and we're going to get to him after the break, and we'll start that after that. So, Daryl Slater of NJ Advanced Media will join us. We're going to talk Jets football and where the Jets are going to, where he thinks they're going to draft and stuff. So, just hang with us. We'll be with, we got a break in about 2.5 minutes, and we'll go over that. And when we come back, we'll talk to Daryl. We'll go over Major League Baseball. A lot of things going on in baseball right now that even Johnny's surprised about. We'll talk about, I want to go over some of the NJ.com top lacrosse teams across New Jersey. We'll take also a look at high school baseball in New Jersey. And we'll take your calls at 732-545-9282. That's 732-545 WCTC Ocean.edu. And I'm really looking forward to hearing Daryl's point of view. I saw a video he had done on NJ.com where he made a prediction of who's taking who in the low rounds here. But I have a feeling he may have to change his mind because are the New York Giants going to trade this pick? As we talked about a little earlier in the show. And if they do, and as I said, the Giants are going to determine what happens in the rest of the draft after number 1. So it'll be really, really interesting. And I got to tell you, and we'll talk to Daryl about this also, is I wouldn't want to be one of these GMs that have to take a quarterback because if you strike out, and it's tough, you can look at all the statistics, all the college games, all the scouting and everything, and think this guy's this and that and whatever, and he's a sure bet in the NFL. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't until he is in the NFL and he's being chased by guys that are twice the size and twice as fast as they were in college. All right, we'll take a quick check of NBC Radio News. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday with me, John Friedman. Give me a call at 732-545-9282. Ocean.edu. You're listening to the voice of Central Jersey, WCTC. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jonathan Friedman. You might know me as the host of Talking Sports on WCTC, but I do have a day job. I'm the Business Development Director at SCG Advertising and Public Relations in Parsippany, and I'd like to tell you about how SCG can help advertisers reach their potential customers in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world. There are so many options from all the traditional media At SCG, we help our clients strengthen their relationships, reputations, and brands by integrating their message across the entire media spectrum. We understand the options available to advertisers, and we will work with you to determine the best creative and media plan for your business. So learn more about SCG Advertising and Public Relations by visiting scgadv.com. That's scgadv.com. We'll help you reach your potential customers, all of them.
NBC News Radio, I'm Tom Roberts. President Trump is offering his nominee to head the Veterans Affairs Department a chance to bow out.
He's been the doctor for President Obama, I believe for President Bush, for me. I've gotten to know him pretty well. He's a great doctor.
In a White House news conference today, Trump called the vetting process vicious and said he would certainly understand if Admiral Ronnie Jackson wanted to drop out. Opening a meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron today, President Trump hammered the Iran nuclear deal. Trump called it a terrible deal at a joint news conference with Macron. The man accused of killing 10 people and injuring more than a dozen others in a Toronto van attack is being charged with murder. The charges against 25-year-old Alec Manassian were announced in court today in yesterday's deadly attack. Wall Street is going from positive to very much negative today after disappointing earnings reports, especially from 3M. Just before the close of trading, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was off by more than 400 points. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
As you get older, there are so many decisions to make around your legal, financial, and tax planning needs. Medina Law Group is the only place where you can secure your total wealth with a one-stop shop for your estate, retirement, and tax planning needs. With over 15 years of experience and more financial credentials than you can shake a stick at, Victor Medina and his team offer a way to cover all of your planning needs under one roof. Whether you're concerned about getting your ducks in a row or securing your nest egg or both, Medina Law Group can give you the peace of mind you deserve. Call the experienced professionals at Medina Law Group at 609-818-0068 to learn more, including your chance to schedule a free consultation. You can also visit MedinaLawGroup.com to learn more about protecting your assets and the Medina Law Group team.
Hey everybody, it's Victor Medina. I'm the host of the Make It Last radio show. This week, I'm going to help you figure out how to plan for care in your later years if you're single, with or without kids, and also what's the real cost of not having a fiduciary level advisor on your side. Learn this and more and Make It Last, helping you keep your legal ducks in a row and your financial nest egg secure.
Hello, I'm Dr. Chira Curry, a board-certified ear, nose, and throat physician. Every day, I see many patients whose lives would be enriched by hearing aids, but who simply cannot afford the thousands of dollars needed to pay for them. I made it my mission to find a way to manufacture medical-grade, affordable hearing aids. Working with other doctors and audiologists, I developed the MD Hearing Aid Air, which costs up to 90% less than traditional hearing aids.
See how the MD Hearing Aid Air can help you once again enjoy conversations, even in noisy places. Call 1-800-409-9153 to speak with one of their trained specialists. Reconnect with your life with MD Hearing Aid's affordable quality hearing solutions at a fraction of the cost of custom hearing aids. Right now, take advantage of their exclusive 45-day risk-free trial and get free shipping and a year's worth of free batteries, a $50 value. Call MD Hearing Aid at 1-800-409-9153. Satisfaction guaranteed. That's 1-800-409-9153.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you can donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-407-4143. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a non-profit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate. 1-800-407-4143. Donating is easy and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-407-4143. That's 1-800-407-4143.
Checking WCTC traffic once again to remind you 22 is a mess. Response to Positive Coaching Alliance. 2 lanes are closed with emergency construction until at least 8 o'clock tonight. West on 22 between Morris Avenue and the Garden State Parkway. Over an hour of bumper-to-bumper traffic from the New Jersey Turnpike. 78 is definitely the way to go. 57 southbound and south of makes it 8 to 3 and again exit 1 onto 440, which stays slow to Smith Street. PCA is a national nonprofit organization. They develop better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. 61 degrees. WCTC traffic watch.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. While any scattered showers around this evening will become a steadier rain as the night progresses, and that rain is going to be heavy at times for the overnight. Bit of a soaker here, goes down to about 50 degrees, and that rain does continue through Wednesday morning up until about midday. Then we start to get some dry time for the afternoon, low and mid 60s, and then it's a big time improvement for Thursday, our best day, with a mix of sun and clouds, and in the mid to upper 60s. I'm meteorologist Chris Castellano at 1450 WCTC.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Tuesday on the voice of Central Jersey, 1450 WCTC. Give us a call at the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545. WCTC. And speaking of calls, joining us on the Ocean County College call-in line is Daryl Slater. He covers the beat of the New York Jets for NJ Advanced Media. You and I know it better as NJ.com and the Star Ledger. Daryl, welcome back to Talking Sports on a Tuesday.
Thank you for having me.
It's great. Now, Daryl, I would not want to be one of these GMs that, you know, a Cleveland. Where are you, Daryl? It sounds like you're in the pool.
Actually, you stepped outside my apartment to get a little fresh air here. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So, you know, I would not want to be the Jets. I wouldn't want to be Cleveland. One of these teams that have no choice but to take a quarterback. Your thoughts on, you know, are any of these guys slam dunks? And you know what the ramifications for the Jets GM would be if this didn't work out.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Mike McCagnon is in big trouble if this does not work out. I mean, he had his chance with Christian Hackenberg in 2016, has not panned out so far, obviously. That's why the Jets traded up from 6-3 to get a quarterback. And none of these guys are really a slam dunk, like you said, in terms of Andrew Luck was when he came out. And so, but look, I mean, it's a deep quarterback class in terms of you have 4 very good quarterbacks, and Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, and Baker Mayfield. I don't think the Jets would take Josh Allen if he falls to them, but I think they would run to the podium to take the pick with Sam Darnold if he's there, and then the decision becomes what would they do with Rosen or Mayfield. That becomes the fascinating decision for Mike McCagnon.
You know, I got to ask you something on Allen. That everybody says he's got the strongest arm, that he has the most potential, maybe long term, than the other guys. Is that because of the conference he played? Is that because of his completion percentage? What is it?
There's a lot of concerns, obviously, about his accuracy, and how much of that stems from the fact that he had a revamped offensive line and receiving group in his final year in college, and how much of that stems from the fact that he maybe just isn't that accurate. I mean, the Jets had a quarterback in Hackenberg who they drafted, had accuracy issues in college, and he got into the NFL and those issues continued, and he has not been able to get on the field, obviously, and that's why they're drafting a quarterback again. Right. So I think the Jets are going to steer clear of just drafting a prototype type guy in terms of the size and the arm strength, and go with a guy who's maybe more of a proven commodity in terms of have done it, you know, whether that's Rosen or Mayfield or Darnold.
Now, and I saw your video on NJ.com where you had picked the first, 3 guys, and it was interesting that I thought, and it was interesting your take on this was, you thought the Giants should take a quarterback for the macro, for the long term, because of Eli and his age and what have you. The Giants, in my opinion, are really going to determine this draft. If they take a running back, if they, what they do, and they could trade the pick. Would that have an impact on the Jets?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, either way, whether they draft a running back or trade the pick, I think ultimately at number 1, the Browns are going to take Josh Allen or Sam Darnold. And if they do take Josh Allen at that point, Darnold is off the board, and the Giants don't have to worry about that, quote unquote. And they take Barkley at number 2, even though I think they should take Rosen there. I think they should take a quarterback, but I don't think they will. And there is Rosen, and there is Mayfield at 3 for the Jets, and I think the Jets go with Rosen there. That's why I predicted that in that video that you mentioned. So, but it could break a number of different ways, and they could trade a pick. It doesn't look like the Bills are going to be willing to trade up to the second slot to do that.
Which I'm surprised.
But I think the Giants want to get a dynamic player there, whether it's a quarterback, whether it's Saquon Barkley, and Barkley might wind up being the best player in this entire draft. So you can't really blame them if they take him, but they do have a needed quarterback. I mean, Eli Manning, the notion that he still has a lot left is insane to me. But
it really is going into his 15th year. Now I got to ask you, and now I'm going to make it really confusing. And I asked somebody in our office the other day, what happens, and I'm assuming that if the Jets take a quarterback, he may hold a clipboard. What happens if you get lightning out of a bottle, for example, from Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah, I think that, that gives you an opportunity to have the draft pick sit, watch, and learn from Bridgewater and Josh McCown, which is not the worst thing in the world. And then you can evaluate it after the season with what you do going forward. But I think that the chances of that happening are low, but the Jets have put themselves in a fairly decent situation by re-signing a guy in Josh McCown who's familiar with their system, and they're bringing a talented young player in Bridgewater for a low cost, low risk deal. Who obviously who knows about his knee, but I think that. I think they'd be fine with that. Let the draft pick sit, watch, and learn, which is not the worst thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because when the Jets got him, I'm assuming that one thing I had heard that he could have played for Minnesota late if possible. I'm assuming he's gone through all these, passing physicals and what have you, and they've tested his knee. I just think that it was a great signing, all incentive base, and maybe the guy is back or could be back, and we know what he was like when he was healthy. So I just thought that was a really interesting signing for the Jets. And I would like to see him succeed after what he went through and all of his rehab. It'd be kind of a really great story. Daryl, tell me, give me some other draft needs that the Jets are going to be looking for in some other rounds later in the draft.
I mean, they could certainly draft a running back in the 3rd round. Mike McCagnon mentioned that possibility yesterday. I mean, they have Bilal Powell, who's entering his last year of his contract as their number 1 running back right now. He's about to turn 30 years old. They made a fairly modest commitment to Isaiah Crowell in free agency. So
good running back, by the way. Very good running back.
And he could work out fine for them. But they could certainly draft a running back in round 3, like maybe a Mark Walton from Miami or Rashad Penny from San Diego State. Those are the options for the Jets in the 3rd round, and they need to figure out their edge rusher situation. But look, I mean, they only have 5 picks outside number 3, and then the next pick, after that number 3 pick is 72 in the 3rd round. So you can't really bank on them getting a lot of elite guys outside the quarterback.
Got it. And so what I wanted to ask you is whoa, you live near Newark?
Sorry, there's a little bit of traffic here. Sorry.
So that's interesting. And the Jets, I got to tell you, we joked about it on the sister station last year with you that, they played hard in every game. And that's their personality, I think, of their coach. They were in every game. Heck, they were in the Atlanta game that I went to there until halftime. I mean, they were totally into it and played hard. They play hard for this guy. And I just think that they're in the right direction, the Jets. I really think. Can you fill in the listeners and remind us of the other acquisitions? I know they made a few other acquisitions besides Crowell and Bridgewater in free agency.
Well, the biggest one obviously being Tremaine Johnson. They got a number 1 cornerback there. They lacked that. The free agent from the Los Angeles Rams, and I think he could be a big upgrade for their secondary. If you look at the middle linebacker, they let Demario Davis walk to the Saints in free agency. Brought in Avery Williamson from the Titans. Sort of a like for like swap there. Williamson being 3 years younger, being a benefit there. Those are their 2 big ones. I meant for a well. They did not really address the offensive line in free agency outside of the fact that they brought in Spencer Long as a new center. He's coming off quad surgery. We'll see how he. So those are sort of the biggest free agent moves they made. Obviously, Bridgewater is a potential backup quarterback, re-signed Johnny Cowan. That's sort of kind of the highlights of what they did.
And I think that the Jets, along with other teams, by the way, I think there's another wave of free agency is about to happen. Right after the draft, teams see where they're going to be. And I haven't looked, but I got to believe there's still a lot of good free agents still out there. Names, maybe not sexy names, but guys to help fill your roster that could, have an impact on there. And I think we're about to go through that second phase of free agency.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there could be some guys that just pick up to add for training camp. They could make some roster moves. If they draft a running back in the third round, they might opt to trade Bilal Powell, their number one running back right now, maybe pick up a late round pick because, as I mentioned, they want to have as many draft picks as possible, and they only currently have 5 outside of the number 3 pick. So that's a move they could make in terms of trading Powell. He doesn't have a lot of trade value. He's, like I said, going on 30, entering the final year of his contract. So we'll see what they do there. But they could certainly, like you said, pick up some guys here after the draft and make some moves to add some depth to the roster entering training camp.
Were you surprised? Now, I haven't studied their schedule. Was there anything interesting on the upcoming schedule you looked at? And what I thought was interesting, which, it's New York, so that can happen, that they open up on a Monday Night Football at Detroit. I think it's at Detroit. Was there anybody else on the schedule, or what division or division are you playing in the NFC?
Yeah, open with 3 or 4 on the road, the Jets do, and then 3 games in the first 11 days of the season, which because they open on a Monday night in Detroit, as you mentioned, they play a regular Sunday home game against the Dolphins, and then they go on a Thursday night to play the Browns. So they have 2 of their first 3 on the road, and those 2 being, those 3 being in 11 days. So a tough start to the season.
Sure
for the
is.
The first 4 on the road also. They have a 3-game homestand in October. But that's sort of the main takeaway there. They close with Packers-Patriots. Not a the tough way to close. I think they still win ultimately 6 to 8 games. I think this team will improve a little bit, but not a lot.
Well, that's crazy scheduling. A Monday night, a Sunday, and then Thursday. That's almost not fair. There's not a lot of practice time in there. That messes up your whole schedule and regimentation. Crazy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think that's a tough start to the season for the Jets, no doubt.
Wow. So anything in regards to that, anything that you look for in regards to the Jets next season, a player, any kind of scenario that we could look for, one of the players on the defensive line that was a backup last year that may take the next step, anything like that?
I think one of the most interesting things to look for is in the secondary. What did they do with Buster Screens? They're starting outside cornerback last year. How much did they use him outside this year versus playing him in the slot? I know they have Trumaine Johnson. I think that's a really interesting storyline.
Mm-hmm. That's a great pickup, by the way. And I'm an NFC guy, so I've seen him play, and a great pick. And I think that the Jets they're on their way. I totally think that if not next season, and I don't look at when they say strength of schedules, that's nonsense because you don't know what a team is going to do the next season. I always base that on records prior, and it just doesn't mean anything to us. So I hope I'm glad that. Are you going to be in Dallas?
I will not be there. No,
you will not be there. You'll be in your living room, sitting enjoying the draft, and that's the way to do it.
Right? Yeah, at the Jets facility actually in Florham Park.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, right. That makes sense. So anyway, well, I want to thank you for coming on. You pulled a Ryan Dunleavy on us today. Anyway, hey Daryl, thanks for coming back, and we'll get back to you over the summer, buddy.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, that's it. Daryl Slater, he covers the beat for the New York Jets for NJ.com. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday with me, John Friedman. Give me a call, 732-545-WCTC. We'll be right back.
As an individual investor, you may have thought sophisticated investment management was only for the wealthy. Not anymore. Zacks Advantage is the actively managed, performance-driven, automated online investment advisory service that builds, monitors, and rebalances your portfolio so you don't have to. Now for a limited time, with fees up to 75% lower than traditional advisors and a minimum investment of just $5,000, you can take advantage of Zacks' 30 years of investment management experience. As an individual investor, you may have thought sophisticated investment management was only for the wealthy. Not anymore. Zacks Advantage is the actively managed, performance-driven, automated online investment advisory service that builds, monitors, and rebalances your portfolio so you don't have to. Now for a limited time, with fees 75% lower than traditional advisors and a minimum investment of just $5,000, you can take advantage of Zacks' 30 years of investment management experience. Call 1-888-746-1770 today to speak with an advisor. Right now, you can save 30% off our already low fees for the life of your account. Low fees, low minimums, and 30 years of experience. That's the Zacks Advantage. Call 1-888-746-1770. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Potential for loss exists with any investment. Material is for informational purposes only. It is not investment, legal, accounting, or tax advice or a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold a security. No advice is given about a strategy suitability for a particular investor. For additional information, go to ZacksAdvantage.com. Call 1-888-746-1770.
Greenbacks, moolah, dough, whatever you call it, 1450 WCTC and Seymour TV and Appliance are giving you a chance to win $1,000 in the Count the Cash contest. Listen weekdays at 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. for the keyword. Text it in or enter it online at WCTCAM.com for a chance to win $1,000 cash from Seymour TV and Appliance in Metuchen and Plainfield. Complete contest rules at WCTCAM.com.
Attention, New Jersey. Attention, New Jersey.
After a hot day at work, you need to laugh and have fun. You now have a new afternoon drive show on your way home. Join me, Tommy G, and my outrageous crew as we talk about what matters right here in New Jersey with local news, traffic, weather, entertainment, and laughs, plus your calls. The Tommy G Show, your new destination for laughs and conversation, is now live and local 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays on 1450 WCTC and WCTCAM.com.
Checking WCTC traffic. This report is sponsored by Compassion International. Huge delays continue on 22 westbound. Left and center lanes are blocked up for emergency construction at least till 8 o'clock between Morse Avenue and the Garden State Parkway. Delays are bumper to bumper over an hour back up to the New Jersey Turnpike. Still pretty slow on the northbound side and southbound side of 287. Got delay southbound from exit 8 to 3 and northbound exit 7 to 10. For just $5 a day, you can sponsor Channel with Compassion. Become a sponsor now at compassion.com/radio. 60 degrees, WCTC traffic line.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. Well, for tonight, we do have rain on the way. For now, for the time being, we do stay dry early, but we'll start to bring in that rain past the evening rush, which is the good news, but it will be a soaker into the overnight. Down to 50 degrees, and then tomorrow, Wednesday, we start off with that rain in the morning, ending towards midday. Scattered showers do linger in the afternoon, though, in the low to mid-60s. Then Thursday improves quite nicely with a mix of sun and clouds, and in the mid to upper 60s. The meteorologist Chris Castellano on 1450 WCTC.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Tuesday. Give me a call in the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC Ocean.edu. All right, let's take a look at Major League Baseball. And I'm just going to start quickly with the Mets. And I made it very clear to you guys, you know, that everybody knows Johnny's a big Atlanta Braves fan. And what's nice is, you know, when you're looking at the National League East, it looks like the Braves and Mets may redo their rivalry from years ago. And those are the two top teams, including Philadelphia. And Philadelphia's a half game out of the Mets, and the Braves are 2.5 games. So looking good in the National League East, some surprises. But let's go ahead. And I wanted to talk a little bit just about the Harvey thing. Obviously, he's gotten off to a rough start, and they're talking now throwing him in the bullpen. And maybe, you know, it could work out, and it could help his confidence in different scenarios, whether it's a closer, which he won't be the closer, but a guy can come in for 2-3 innings kind of thing. And didn't get a chance to read the whole article, but even John Smoltz of MLB Network and the Hall of Famer of the Atlanta Braves feels that Harvey is not done. They'll make some adjustments. It's in the bullpen, but here's the thing. Harvey's got to be the guy that embraces the change, wants to make the change, understands that he has lost his starting spot, and now he's got to go through the process. And that process may be bullpen. It could be a trip to Las Vegas. You don't know what it may be in the next few weeks, but if he doesn't embrace it, it'll never work. So listen, he's getting banged around a little bit, and it could be just a mechanical flaw. It could be it could be a lot of things, but what I read out of everything is that, hey, I'm a starter. Well, right now you're not a starter. So you've got to embrace the situation. And remember, Dave, I think that Harvey's a free agent after this season, isn't he?
He is, yes.
Yeah. So you better embrace the situation if you're going to try to move your career in the right direction. So that's my thoughts quickly on Harvey. Let's take a look at the standings in Major League Baseball. It's early, but heck, let's do it anyway. In the American League East, you got Boston with a 4-game lead over over Toronto. Toronto, started off slow, but now they're getting going. The Yankees in third place, 5.5 games back, followed by Tampa Bay. And the Rays, by the way, who are 5 games under, they're going to make their move. They always do. Baltimore also is in the cellar, already 12 games back in the American League East. Wow. In the Central, Cleveland has a 2.5 game lead over Minnesota, followed by Detroit. They're 3 back. By the White Sox are 6.5 back, and the Royals at 5-15. Ouch. They are 7 games back, which actually is not so bad so early. In the American League West, Houston got back into first place, a half game over the Angels. Seattle is 3.5 games back, followed by Oakland, 3.5 games back, and Texas, 8.5 games. Between Houston, the Angels, and Seattle and Oakland, it's real tight in there. So long way to go, obviously, and that's a good division. In the National League East, you got the Mets with a half-game lead over the surprising Philadelphia Phillies. Of the Phillies' 7 losses, I bet you 5 of them are to Atlanta. Followed by the Braves, are 2.5 games back. The surprise slow start of the Washington Nationals. They're already 5.5 games back, but again, it's early. And the poor, lowly Miami Marlins, they're 8.5 games back in the National League East. In the Central, the St. Louis Cardinals had a nice little run here. They're now in first place, tied with who Johnny picked to win that division, the Milwaukee Brewers, followed by Pittsburgh, who's 1.5 games out, and the Cubs are 2.5. That's a good division, too. And then the lowly, terrible, they've already fired their manager. The Cincinnati Reds are 4-18. Ouch. 9.5 games back, and we've been around for 3 weeks with Major League Baseball. In the West, the Arizona Diamondbacks are a 4-game lead already on the Dodgers, followed by Colorado, 4.5, San Francisco, 5.5, and the San Diego Padres at 7.5. So that division's tight too. Long way to go. We're in the first month of baseball. There's going to be a lot of changes, injuries, all sorts of different things that are going to take place in the next, 2 months or whatever. Let's take a look at some of the leaders in Major League Baseball. We've got in the American League, Mookie Betts leads the American League with a .366 batting average. Wow. In homers, Mike Trout's already got 9. Jed Lowry has 23 RBIs. Mookie Betts leads in runs in the American League. Severino of the Yankees has 4 wins. Old Dave Raish is happy about that. Strikeouts, Cole has 41. Charlie Morton, the former Pittsburgh Pirate, former Atlanta Brave, he leads the American League in ERA at a .72. And Edwin Diaz of the Mariners leads the American League with 8 saves. In the National League, the Atlanta Braves third baseman Ryan Flaherty has an average of .362, not too bad. Bryce Harper, now here, listen to this. Bryce Harper leads the National League with 8 home runs. Remember, he's a free agent coming up. Javier Baez has 23 RBIs for the Chicago Cubs. The Atlanta Braves superstar second baseman or future superstar second baseman Ozzie Albies. He leads the league with 21 runs. That's amazing. Max Scherzer of the Nationals leads the National League and wins with 4. In strikeouts, Patrick Corbin of the Diamondbacks has 48. That's a lot of strikeouts. San Francisco Giants, this ended up being a great signing for them last year. Johnny Cueto with a .35 ERA. That's outstanding. And the White Sox, Wade Davis leads the National League in saves. So I teased you a little bit about New Jersey lacrosse. I just wanted to quickly give you the top 20 teams across the state of New Jersey. Summit 7-0 at number 1. Number 2 is Del Barton. Number 3 is Mountain Lakes. Number 4 with a really good program in lacrosse, Seton Hall Prep. Number 5 is Christian Brothers. Oh, we can't even get through this. We'll go to, and the number 6 team is Watchung Hills. Oh, looks like we're coming to an end of another show. I want to thank Dave Race behind the glass and making it happen. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank the callers. And I especially want to thank you, the listeners. You've been listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday. I'm Jared Friedman. Have a great week, everybody.
From the ProCure Proton Therapy Cancer Treatment Studios, this is 1450 WCTC, New Brunswick, a Beasley Media Group station.
NBC News Radio, I'm Brian Shook. President Trump is backing his Veterans Affairs nominee while leaving the door open for his possible exit.
The Senate confirmation hearing for Dr. Ronnie Jackson has been postponed amid allegations of inappropriate behavior and workplace misconduct.
He's a great doctor.
The president defended Jackson during a White House news conference.
But I will tell you, he's one of the finest people